Hey everybody, it is your girl, Lady Couture, the voice of all media diva. Yes, the moment you all have been waiting for. It is time. Episode 7 of Couture's Vinyl Chronicles is here. Now, it's crazy because I almost forgot, because of everything that I've been doing and stuff like that, I almost forgot about September 11th. I mean, how can we forget? You know, of course, rest in peace to the victims who lost their lives from a cowardly act of 9/11 when they took down the towers, as well as in Pennsylvania. Now, outside of that, there were album releases, right? And those album releases were this one right here, and also Fabulous album had dropped as well. But I feel, in my opinion, this was the most anticipated album. No shade to Fab, but The Blueprint. And we're going to definitely get into it. Now, before we get into it, let me let you know that make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and we all win. And make sure that you are following me on Lady Couture on Instagram, LadyKootoure, and Lady Couture 1 on TikTok as well. Now, also, I have my Venmo and my Cash App. If you would like to donate, that would be greatly appreciated, but you're not obligated to do so. But if we want to keep things running, because things are not cheap, hey, a donation will be greatly appreciated. Now, let's get into one of the most best hip-hop albums and best produced hip-hop albums of all time. Argue with Your Mama. Jay-Z, The Blueprint. All right. So, as you can see, I have a lot of vinyls. And, you know, don't judge me. I do have a lot of Jay-Z because I am Jay-Z's, biggest fan or whatever. All right. So, of course, usually a lot of DJs do have it like this. They have 2 vinyls, right? Now, you're wondering, like, well, Couture, why do you have 2 vinyls of The Blueprint? Well, actually, this one, and I've told this story before, when I interned at Def Jam, somebody at the office, they was cleaning out their office or whatever, and they gave me this one, the Black Album, and Life and Times of Sean Carter Volume 1. This one was a gift. I think my fiance got it for me, but I was like, you don't realize that but hey, 2 is better than 1. It doesn't matter. The more the merrier. But anywho, so now this album dropped of course, September 11th, 2001. Please let me know, what is your favorite track on the album? This is another classic. This vinyl actually is 2 vinyls in here. Record 1 and record 2. So for me, that's a hard one. I would have to say The Takeover, You Don't Know, Song Cry, Never Change, Renegade. I mean, everything is like pretty much a classic on this album. Now, again, this album dropped on September 11, 2001. Where were you on September 11, 2001, if you can remember? Now, for me, at the time, I was living in my hometown of Columbus, Ohio. And where I was working at was Bank One at the time, if you know, you know, which is now Chase. So I went to work that morning. Most of the customers were East Coast customers. That's when I heard that there was a plane that had hit. And then I was on the phone with a customer who had his TV loud. That's when I heard the second plane hit. Crazy. So after that, we were at work. Then they let us go home, but they had shut down all the buses, so I had to get a ride. Once I got a ride home, there was a record store, which was up the street from where I lived at the time, called CD and Tape Outlet. I said, I have to get this album. Well, at the time, it was a CD. So it was a good 30-minute walk from where I lived. So I walked up the block, went there, bought the CD, came back home, went into my room, popped it into my computer, and listen to this album from beginning to end over and over until it was time for me to go to bed. Because I wanted to block everything out of my mind of what was going on that day. And this album was the album that got me through. Now, since, of course, the Jay-Z album, The Blueprint, came out on September 11th, here are some 11 facts about The Blueprint. Now, add that number up to the one I said before, unquote. Now, The Blueprint is abruptly one of Jay-Z's finest moments, in addition to being the sonic masterpiece that it is. Here's 11 factoids about the album you might not have known. Now, I got this from one of the Jay-Z fan pages. Now, this album also got 5 mics as well, and I miss that so much doing the 5 mics, because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of these albums that's out now will not be getting a lot of 5 mics, but that's another story for another day. So the first facts about The Blueprint is that the Blueprint album became Jay-Z's 4th consecutive #1 on the Billboard 200. Second fact, The Blueprint, of course, as I just said, received 5 mics from the Source magazine. Number 3, The Blueprint sold over 425,000 units in its first week, despite being released on the morning of September 11th, 2001. So that was back then, selling that much in a week. And like they said, even though there was a tragic event, that was crazy. In 2009, shortly after Michael Jackson's passing, Jay-Z claimed in NME magazine that one track number, Girls, 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 the late King of Pop, provided uncredited background vocals in addition to Slick Rick, Q-Tip, and Biz Markie. Not a lot of people know, because it's starting to come out now that Michael Jackson was on it, and a lot of people didn't know that. Another fact, the Blueprint release date was pushed up a week earlier than initially slated in order to avoid bootlegging. I do remember that, because it was a lot of bootleggers. The Blueprint's lyrical content was reportedly written by Jay-Z within 2 days and recorded within 2 weeks. During the recording of the Blueprint album, Jay-Z was in the midst of 2 criminal trials. The Blueprint features a majority of production from Just Blaze and Kanye West. The Blueprint album resulted in a subsequent tour, of which a fraction of the proceeds were donated towards 9/11 relief organizations. In 2003, Rolling Stone magazine listed the Blueprint as number 464 on their top 500 albums ever. And 11, Entertainment Weekly ranked the Blueprint as number 2 on their list of the 10 best albums of the decade, 1999 to 2009. Now, real quickly before we wrap all of this up, this is where he did the Blueprint Lounge Tour. And the Blueprint Lounge Tour was supposed to start in my hometown of Columbus, Ohio. And it was supposed to start around September 11th, which is crazy. And what's also crazy is me and my friends were supposed to be in New York around that time. We had planned it. But when Jay-Z had made the announcement in August of 2001 that the Blueprint Lounge Tour is coming, we canceled our plans and bought tickets. But once September 11th happened, he basically had to not cancel the tour. He just had to push the dates back. And I think it was like it started up at the end of September, the beginning of October. But Columbus was still the first spot. He was at Newport Music Hall, I believe, if I can remember. Yeah. And it was a crazy concert. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And the after party was at Studio 69. If you are from Columbus, you know. So, thank you all again. That's it for the Kootoure Vinyl Chronicles. Again, Jay-Z's The Blueprint. Thank you for creating a masterpiece. Again, now this is my number 2 best Jay-Z album. What's yours? Put it in what order? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Make sure you look out for episode 8. It's coming. And again, you can see episodes 1 through 6 on my YouTube channel. I love you all for watching. Thank you.